When people talk about starting a new business, the advice is usually pretty dramatic. Quit your job, go all in, and take huge risks. But I've been self-employed for over 10 years, and the reality of those first couple of years in business looks very different. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 practical things that can make your early years in small business more manageable, financially, mentally, and strategically. This is the advice I wish someone gave me when I was first starting out in my business, so let's get into it. Number 1, quit your day job for the right reasons and at the right time. Okay, I know everyone's advice on the internet is just quit, go all in, go wild with your business, but I'm here to give you realistic advice. And I'm talking about both product-based businesses and service-based businesses. But especially if you're a product-based business, the truth is that the stakes are higher because you have cost of goods and you have packaging, shipping, duties, website fees, and marketing. The reality is that having a steady income while you're building this reduces pressure for you to make money fast in your business. It also reduces the chances of making bad decisions just based on money and revenue alone. It allows you to experiment more in your business, and it's a cushion for you to start earning profits steadily and slowly as needed in your business. So instead of going cold turkey and quitting your full-time job altogether before you start making any money in your small business, you can get creative, like number 1, do freelance or contract work if you don't want to work full-time anymore. Number 2, request reduced hours or a reduced work week. Go down from 5 days maybe to 3 or 4 days. Of course, only you're going to know when the time is right to leave your full-time job, but here are a couple things to look for, and you can use these as guides. Number 1, maybe you don't have sales yet or steady sales in your new business, but you do have 6 to 12 months of expenses saved, and thinking about paying your bills does not make you scared or anxious. This is an important one. You don't want to start a new business in a scarcity mindset or feeling like you're lacking money or you can't pay your bills. This is going to just set you up for success if you just feel that you're in a good place financially and you have cash flow. And if you do have sales in your business, you want to make sure that your business is generating consistent and not just occasional revenue so that you can cover your bills and expenses as well as put money back into the business as needed. And let's be honest, sometimes people quit their day job or their full-time job because they want to be able to say, I quit my job and I'm a business owner now. And they want the title of entrepreneur, but it's the external validation that sometimes gets us in the end. And it's so much better and strategic to make sure you're set up financially for success before you quit your job. And just keep in mind that quitting your job isn't a business strategy. It's really setting yourself up for success and making sure you have enough finances to pay your bills and invest in your business. The second mistake I see business owners make when starting out is renting space before they actually need it. And why is this on the list? Because rent creates pressure. Money you pay for rent could be used to invest in your business and grow your business. Low overhead just equals more flexibility in life and in your business. Move to a space if and when your business truly needs it. Don't move to a space just because of outside pressure or perceived status. And if possible, be creative with your space. For example, if you have an extra bedroom that can be converted to an office or to store inventory or to ship product, you can convert part of a shed or a basement or a garage. Depending on product type, of course, it might need to be temperature controlled, but task yourself with being creative with your space that you have, that you're already living in. But if you absolutely need a space outside of where you live, are there other business owners you know who might want to share a space or rent out part of their existing space? This also serves a social purpose, which I'll talk a little bit about later in the video. And if you absolutely need your own space, make sure you budget and you just start small. You can always move, you can always upgrade to a bigger space once you start making more steady, consistent revenue in your business. Remember, low overhead doesn't mean you're thinking small. It means you're buying yourself time and freedom. Number 3, be open to multiple income streams. So In my own example with my clothing line, Etsy is a great example of this. When I first started my block printing brand 10 years ago, Etsy was one of my best sources of revenue. I was selling so much on there, and then boom, COVID happened, and it seemed like overnight Etsy was flooded with manufacturers selling block printed goods, and many of them were very poor quality. I also had some of my intellectual property stolen on Etsy. People would rip off my photos and use them for their own listings. They would take my copy and paste it into their own listings. It became a mess. So if Etsy was the one thing I relied on, I would have been in a lot of trouble. And I did kind of rely on it then. That's the thing. But all that to say is this is an example of a platform that changed significantly over the years, and I had no control over it. And the bottom line is that income stream had to be replaced somehow, and we had to pivot. So just diversify, especially when you're first starting out. Test different ways to make money and generate revenue in your business, and double down on what actually works while still researching, trying new things. For example, now I sell my clothing line on my Shopify store. I sell it at in-person pop-ups. I do wholesale, and I also do coaching and consulting work. So I have various revenue streams going on in my business. Number 4, have a basic understanding of revenue and profit and the basics of how taxes work. A lot of new business owners are so focused on making sales that they never actually stop to ask or analyze, am I actually making money? Revenue and profit are not the same thing, and not understanding the difference can sink a business that looks successful from the outside. Understanding your margins tells you which products are actually worth selling. Understanding the basics of taxes when you're a small business owner, like the fact that you have to pay estimated quarterly taxes. Many new business owners don't even know that estimated quarterly taxes exist until they get penalized for them in April. Even if you have an accountant and you hate taxes, having a basic understanding of how taxes work can prevent surprises and can potentially prevent a lot of bigger issues happening down the road. Also, separating business and personal finances from the beginning is going to make everything so much easier for you and your business. Open a separate bank account from day one in your business, even if you're a sole proprietor. You don't have to be an LLC. It makes everything cleaner and easier. Obviously, people don't start businesses usually because they love numbers and they love spreadsheets, but a commitment to having a basic understanding of your numbers might be the one thing that actually keeps your dream and your business alive. And number 5, don't go it alone. Going from a team environment, meetings, colleagues, shared wins, someone to bounce ideas off of, to sitting alone at a desk working by yourself can be a genuine shock. The truth is, entrepreneurship can be isolating, especially when you're first starting out and it feels like no one around you understands what you're going through. Here are some practical ways to have more connection as a new small business owner. Find a local small business or entrepreneurship group, either online or in person, and join it. Have a single small business friend that you check in with regularly. Maybe you have coffee once a week or once a month, and someone who gets it and is experiencing the same types of things that you are. And the market and pop-up community. So as a small business owner, especially if you're selling product-based businesses, you might be doing pop-up markets and events. This is such a good way to meet other business owners. I've been doing this for a long time as well. I have so many good small business friends that I've just become close with, and you really start to feel connected with these people. They're doing the same thing as you are, and it's just a great community of people trying to make it in their own businesses. So as we know, the world changes around us and we can't really control it. So building flexibility into everything as a business owner, our income, our overhead, and our mindset is so key. Tell me in the comments what has been the hardest part of your first year in business. I'd love to know. And for more insights into the fashion industry, small business, from someone who's had 20 plus years of experience, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.